it's Kirsty from Adeline Country Cottage. Yes, I have been missing in action. Just had a few things that I was dealing with, personal things. So I am back now, and I wanted to share with you what I have been up to. These were all finished about a month ago, but as I mentioned, been doing, family things. Anywho, without further ado, we'll just get straight into this. I am releasing my Pandora journal. Now, the reason why it's called Pandora, because I've got little my pantry, lace pantries. There's actually 3 in total on this, and then of course we've got the insert inside as well. Yeah, it's a little bit funny the way that it's all been, just to hold it, but once you use the lace, everything will sit flat inside it. So we'll just jump right in and I will show you inside it. So we've just got some lace with a paper flower holding it closed. On the front we're using, or I've actually painted this little pantry first, and then I've overlaid it with a vintage sheer fabric, which is absolutely to die for. It's got a bit of a puff, sort of like a puff paint, I guess, if that's what you would call it, but it is just really to die for. I love this sheer fabric. And then we've just got some fabric, vintage fabric on the side, the spine, and on the back all I have done is just decoupaged a napkin, and of course with closure with seam binding and dotted with little vintage collar buttons. And on the front it's just with crushed velvet with vintage glass buttons. Absolutely adorable. So we'll open up this section first. Inside this part here, you've just got some little birdies here and some scripted writing with dyed paper. Now, the collection that I used for this particular journal, I think it was from NectarsCreations. I've actually listed it in the description on my website, so you'll be able to see. All the lace had been avocado dyed, and this is just a little bit of a to hold it on velvet with a little diamante buckle here, which is really cute. So you can take that off and use it. I've designed the tags so that you can reuse the tags throughout the actual journal itself. So we'll just quickly tie that off, and so we go inside. Inside here there's a little pocket here, a lace pocket with a little gathering of vintage goodness. So this little vintage flower and some muslin that was dyed with avocado, vintage fabric. Got some gathering of paper, a little double pocket here and here, and of course with some ephemera inside. And this was just I've actually had to back it because once I dyed it, it went to fall apart. This is just when a waitress uses to write down orders, and these ones here, I think, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to slot that in here somewhere when I get the name. I'm truly sorry. I've left all my paperwork downstairs. I've actually had to come upstairs to film this because it's truly too dark here today. Just up the top's a top loading pocket, and of course again with the NectarsCreations printable kit. You can find her on Etsy. On this side here is just a little tie off. I've actually popped that right through the whole signature so you can tie this whole signature together. We have a decoupaged bird on this tag here, which is from a napkin. We have avocado muslin that you can use for whatever you like, as well as lace. And on this side we have a bit of a gathering here, you know, sort of some trimming, vintage fabric which is avocado dyed, and then we've got a velvet flower here which was from Miss Rose Sister Violet, and I've just added some diamantes on there. In here, this is like a quite stiff, this card here, and inside we have some ephemera pieces here that I had printed off, and then of course there's some extra pieces of paper that you can use for whatever you would like to use it for. Oops. So that just pops inside that pocket. And then we just move straight into the journal. Now this is the old negative where you used to slide your photographic negatives inside. I've just folded it. You can, you know, as a side pocket, or you can, whether you want to pop it through the machine and stitch that up or glue it down to make it a top loading pocket. We have some printed stamping. This was actually from my very first video about the papers on how I dyed them. Yeah, so a lot of the pages where you will see, you know, I might have a little bit of a writing down the side of how I had and what I did with that. So this one, what's that one say? Print left. Left a day so that the stamping doesn't smudge, and then I coffee dyed that. That was just a little note for myself. And this was printed off one of my little designs, and of course I put it through straight away, and that's how it bleeds out. This is avocado paper, music paper, again from that digi kit. It's really cute. And this was where I tea dyed it, and I threw it on top of an old vintage rusty box that I've got, and this is the rust that actually come through after it had dried. I think it comes out really beautiful. The center of the signature, just moving through again with that paper. And that's the other side of that negative page. It was in a big folder. Now that's that first signature, and in the center is, let me just tie that down, and that way we can, it will all sit flat without bulging out. Okay, so in this pantry here is with vintage wallpaper. It wraps right the way around. We've got seam binding as a closure. We have some avocado dyed, and I've just stitched it to make a ruffle, and I've added some diamantes on there as well. So inside this one, I should have used my one so I don't unwrap the person who's purchased this. Inside we have all this lovely goodness, again that's from that kit. I've just sewn some lace and a button, just add a little bit of a charm thing here. And these were all the tags are you can reuse. They were all avocado dyed, fabric, vintage fabric, the trims and the lace and everything. So that's really pretty, and I've just added vintage wallpaper in the background, and you've got some vintage wallpaper on the top here. So this is really cute, and we've got some tulle and some of that, it's like the under section of a vintage dress that I had, so I've just sort of cut it up because it was I bought it because it was pretty ratted anyway, so that I could cut that up. So that is in that pantry, and I'm sorry about the lighting today. It is just too dark and it's not showing. Oh look, I'll tie that up afterwards. So we move forward, it's a file page, avocado page, and then this is just from a vintage writing pad from the typewriter manual. And here we have, I've just backed 2 different wallpapers, vintage wallpapers together to create the page. So they're really pretty. The center, this was just dyed with Rit dye. And then there's just another tag popped in there. I think that might belong to another one. I might check to see. So, and then we just go through. And now at the back here, again, I do apologize. I think it's NostalgieGrafikland. I think it's from her floral kit. And all I've done is just made little tags, added some lace, and each one of these sits in a little pocket. You would have seen ages ago that I popped the photo of this up on my Instagram. That's how long ago I sort of had created this one, but then I got a little bit sidetracked. I tend to do that. I sort of put things aside and then restart on something new because I want to get that out of my head. So each one of these sits in like a little pocket. You can see that it's all stitched down across the side to form a little pocket. Kind of like how you see in a stamp collection book. That's where it gave me the idea, because I was looking for through my stamps, and that's how I found it. And then we go to the back. Now the back, again, tied off with seam binding, and we have another pantry. And all avocado dyed. Everything's got a little bit of vintage wallpaper on them, and there's just a little pocket here which houses, you know, some ephemera. And we've got vintage wallpaper as the background, and again with, you know, some of those leftover things I've added and made like a little pull down place for you to journal on, and that just sits in there at the top. Yeah, I don't know what else I could say but more about this. Hopefully it speaks for itself, and that you have lots of time to create and use all of the lace inside, which is really beautiful. I've started keeping one for myself, so that way I can always draw upon it a little bit later to create, or hopefully create, something else that's similar. So we'll just pop this one back inside. Now when I created this particular journal, I actually had I had a bunch of leftover things, which I will actually send that with whomever has purchased the journal. You know, there's more envelopes here. There's more ephemera that you can use. I've cut out some ephemera, you know, so all of these will come with the actual journal as well, which was, as I said, left over from when I was creating it. Yeah, so that is Pandora, and I think she's truly beautiful. So there you go. So I really hope you enjoyed looking through Pandora. I have some more that I will be showing you very, very soon, so keep an eye out for those. I do believe by the time this goes up, all four, I only had 4 of them. I only had 4 of them, but I do believe by the time these have gone up, they would have all been sold out. So really apologize for that. These are a limited edition, and when I get a chance, hopefully there will be something else I can do similar to that. Alrighty then. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Okay then, bye for now.